everyone, Amanda here. I thought I'd come and share some things that I've been making for journals and for gifts. So I've had this brown paper packaging rolls for quite a while with an idea of how to use them, and I've only really just gone round to it. Now these are from Sainsbury's and they're quite an orangey kind of brown. Obviously you can have a look round. This is quite a nice thick one. You can get rolls with more, and I think I paid about £1 a roll. Okay, so it's really inexpensive, and there's so much stuff you can do with this brown packaging paper. And also you can use recycled paper from your Amazon packages, etc. But I'm just using this, so I'm using up my stash. So what I do is I just roll it out, yeah, that way. And then the way that I do it is I measure it to about 6 inches in width. So just get my ruler. Because it's been rolled up, it's going to want to roll back all the time and do your head in. So get something heavy and weigh it down, okay? That's why I've been doing it. And then just get your ruler and measure from the outside to the in to about 6 inches. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect, I just measure it roughly. And I've worked out that from, this is a 5 metre roll, from a 5 metre roll of this brown packaging you can get 32 large bags and 64 small bags, which is an awful lot. Other ideas, you can use this, you can make envelopes, you can make all sorts of stuff. You can make anything out of it, and it's cheap as chips and it's nice and touchy-feely. So I'll go it to that, and then I'll score it, and then I just literally, you can cut it if you want, I just use the sharp edge of my ruler and do it old school and just press it down to keep it flat and rip it. So you'll be able to see on my thumbnail, and I'll show you at the end, I've done small ones and I've done larger ones. So the larger ones, I use the full piece that I've cut there. Okay, so it's 6 inches by, well, this roll's 6 inches by, let's have a look, it's 6 inches by 12, it's about there, 12, 17, by about 18. Okay, but obviously it depends what size roll you get. Just adjust it to suit yourself. And then if I was going to, then what I do is I fold it in half. Okay, line up the top. Again, it's not going to be perfect, don't matter. Okay. Now, a really quick way you can do this is just literally sew them two sides. With your sewing machine, you've got a nice free edge. But if you want the look of a paper bag, there's a neater way of doing it. Now, if I'm doing one large bag, I do it like that, and then I'll show you how I do the sides and decorate it. If I want to do 2 bags out of this one strip, then where I've folded it in half there, I'll cut it in half, and then I'll make my bags smaller that way. Okay, so then you'd get 4 out of this one piece. But I'm going to show you a large one just now, so let me just rescore that. Okay, it can be a bit fiddly, you know, because it's been rolled up, but just weigh it down. So then I do get my scoreboard. Okay, it just helps you get a neater fold if you use a scoreboard. If you don't have one, use a ruler and a blunt object, as it were. Okay. Sounds like a murder weapon, a blunt object. So just hold it like that, and again, you know, it's not going to be the easiest thing because it's been rolled up and it's a bit slider. So just run your ball tool over your scalp or the back of your hand to put some grease, helps you score easily. And then just make sure you've got it and it's not all rolled up on itself. And again, just do the best you can. Don't matter if it's not perfect, and if you just do it a bit at a time and hold it, you'll be able to do it easy peasy. So 1/2 inch down there, and then I'm just going to turn it and do 1/2 inch that way, it'll be just easier. Weigh it down with my heavy scissors, and then 1/2 inch there. Super simple. I have paid in the past for printed brown paper bags, and I've paid extortionate prices because I like them. Nothing wrong with going and buying them. If they're pretty, buy them, but you can do them yourself, and then they're unique to you. And you can customise them to your actual project, okay? If somebody's selling some or you see something that's pretty, I'm not saying don't buy them, buy what you want. Do what you want. But this is just a cheaper, it's far cheaper to make them yourself, and it's fun. Okay, so I fold it in half. Okay, I'm going to just notch up both sides to start with, like that, and then just, might have to just keep realigning it because it's going to want to curl, and then just notch there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to decide which is the front and which is the back, although I don't suppose it really matters, but I find it's just that bit neater if you have your front with the tabs and the back cut the tabs away. Okay, so again I'm just going to hold all of that down with a heavy pair of scissors, and then I'm going to cut away where we've scored on one side. Doesn't have to be perfect, don't worry if you don't cut it straight, don't worry if it doesn't line up when you close the bag, you can always snip it, it don't matter, don't worry. I do the score lines just as a guide, because otherwise I would literally cut it so wonky it would be ridiculous. So it just helps me get it a little bit neat so that I'm halfway there. Alright, so then what you want to do is fold over where you've scored, so that's going to help you get an edge kind of to guide you. Like I say, you could do it all by eye, you don't have to use a scoreboard, you don't have to have expensive tools, doesn't have to be perfect, okay? So there we go, and then we're going to add some tape, or you can glue it, just tape's faster. Okay, put some tape on there. And some tape on there. I'm in shot. Okay, doc. There we go. And you could sit, you know, if you've lost your crafty mojo, if you don't really know what to make specific, you could just sit on a night with your YouTube playing, or your Netflix, or whatever you enjoy, or your, or I know my Kay listens, I call her my Kay, like she belongs to me. My lovely friend Kay listens to audiobooks in her craft room. Some people like music. I normally have YouTube on, or I watch BBC iPlayer a lot. Otherwise I'm crafting quiet. I seem to concentrate, I can't even speak, never mind, do it. I seem to concentrate better when I'm in silence, I don't know. Probably because normally I'm so loud. Maybe. So I'm just trying to, don't you just hate it when you're trying to peel back sticky tape and it won't have it? So let me get my perky tool. There we go. So I'm just going to pull it back a small amount, okay, on each side. Just a very small amount, not all the way. It's hard to do. And then I'm just going to fold it over where I've got my fold line, and I'm just going to anchor down that first little bit, okay? Then what you do is, because it's, and this is just the best way to do it because it's so curly and fiddly, just anchor down that first little bit and get that straight, and then the rest of it will follow suit. So then all you have to do is just keep pulling the tape like so, line it up, and then pull your tape out, okay? That's the easiest way to do it without losing your mind. So pull your tape out like that, line it up, and then pull your tape out. Alright, there we go. That's actually not bad. So if you turn it over and you've got a bit hanging over where you've not done it straight, just get your scissors and snip it off. And then what I'm going to do is just give it a crease with my bone folder. If you don't have a bone folder, use your ruler. Everybody's got a ruler. And then I just, and again, if you don't have fancy scissors, these are just dressmaking scissors. You know, I've got, I'll go and have a look in your children or your grandchildren's art box. You get these little fancy ones as well. Otherwise, just leave it plain. It doesn't matter, it's just for fancy. Okay, and then this is where we get to decorate. So I'm just going to put my heavy scissors there. And when I've done, what I do is I put them underneath my mat or under a heavy book just to help keep them flat. Doesn't take long. Then I'm going to do some stamping. I've got loads and loads of stamps. Most people will know I've got loads of stamps. And I've got inks galore. And, you know, you can do whatever you want. There's no right or wrong when it comes to stamping. So I'm going to get a couple of inks. I'm using a brown. That is a water-based one, so I'll need to be careful. Because this is a kind of a shiny surface, I'll need to be careful and give it plenty of time to dry. But it will take, you know, it won't smudge if you just leave it to dry. And then for my main images, I like to use stays on these because it's got a bit of a shiny surface. Then I can be confident it's not going to smudge. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to first of all stamp my border. And I'm using a retired set here from Stampin' Up. It's an old one. I've got loads of old stamps in my collection. I use all sorts of stuff. Right, so I'm just going to ink this up with stays on. And this is just going to be my pattern. My fancy bottom. Fancy bottom. Not my personal bottom, the bottom of my bag. So I'm just going to stamp in the middle. I'm not going all the way across because I just don't want to. I could do, but I don't want to. It's just how I want it. And then because it stays on, that will literally be dry straight away, so I'm confident to turn it over and do the other side. I love the smell of this as well. Beautiful. Just make sure you give your stamps a clean when you've done, because, you know, stays-on's a little bit of a harsh ink, but I mean, I'm not too worried. I've used it on stamps for years and it's never really done any harm. I mean, let's be honest, we don't use our stamps as much as we should anyway, so don't matter. It'll be fine. And then I'm using, this is a brown ink. Okay, and then I've got this script stamp. I'm just going to make sure it's on straight. Hold on. And then I can never remember which way up this stamps. I should put a little arrow on the back, so I'm just going to do a practice stamp on a piece of scrap to see which way. Right, so the script goes that way. Try and get it straight. And then I'm just going to, if I could do with a larger, I need to get a large script stamp that's about that big. I've only got little ones, so then but all you do is you just repeat stamp. It doesn't matter. It's just getting it lined up, but then again, if it's not lined up right, again, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to do it like it's a, you know, continuous script, like so. And you, as I say, use whatever stamps you've got. It's fun. And then you can use these in your journals. You can use them as pockets. You can use them to put ephemera in, gift them to people. Do what you want. Then I'm using this one, which is like bottles of perfume, vintage. Put some stays on there. Ooh, got stuff falling. Avalanche. And then it's actually quite tidy, is my craft room at the moment as well. I gave it a right good do the other day. And today is my day off from my day job. So, yeah, I'm going to do a bit of crafting. So that stamps them on there and I'm happy like that. You could do more. I've got coffee ring ones that look like coffee rings, butterflies, all sorts of stuff. You can do whatever, can't you? And then you can either leave it like that, or what I think is nice is if you just turn it over. I mean, you could put eyelets in if you want. I don't have loads of eyelets left, so I'm being a bit frugal with them. And then what I do is I just get a small hole punch. If you don't have a hand one, you know, use your officey one, you know, your normal one, or just poke holes with a pokey tool. There's ways and means of doing everything. Now, because I am being a bit fussy, because this might go and end up in a journal that goes to somebody, I'm just going to measure roughly. So this is ended up at 5 inches wide. So I'm going to go in at about 1.5, round about there, and about from this side in another 1.5 inches. So from this side I've gone to 1.5, and from this side I've gone to about 3.5. That'll do. And then just punch it. And this is one of the smaller size. I think it's a 1/16 of an inch. So it's a small. And then, who hasn't got a bit of string? Who's not got baker's twine in the stash that they don't use? I never use it. I've got loads of the stuff. So yeah, nice, quick, easy project for you to try. You could even add a pocket on there and put tags in, and then put ephemera in there. So you could make these and then use those as pages and make a journal out of the actual bags. It's strong enough. That's why this packaging paper is good, because it's nice and strong. I do like recycling the Amazon packaging, but it's not quite as strong as this. Not for making bags. It might rip, although I don't know. Might be alright. And then just tie it and add it in a bow. I mean, you can decorate it further by, you know, putting ephemera on. You could put a decorated paper clip on there. I've got some somewhere that Kay sent me. Might go grab one. These would make a great little swap, fill them with handmade ephemera, and then it could go in the mail, and as long as your handmade ephemera is not too chunky, it'd go for a letter size, so that'd be fun. I might have to message Kay later and see if she wants to do a swap. So these are the altered paper clips that Kay sent me in my last stash that she sent me, so I could literally add one of those if I wanted as well onto there. Does it go that way, that way? Oh, it goes that way. Ah, but then the dangle's at the back. I want the dangle at the front. Can I? No, I'll have to have the dangle at the back here. Oh well, it's pretty at the back and at the front there then, isn't it? So you could have that either way. You could put a ticket, you could do what you want. So these are some of the others that I made. Again, using the same set, but I mean I've thousands of sets. That one's a bit narrower. And I added a bulldog, what do they call them? I call them bulldog clips. And then these, I just left them plain. So that's the larger size and that's the two smaller ones. So it's basically the same as one of those. And on this one I just used a block stamp. And the tip for that is that when you've cut your paper like this, or if you were doing a smaller one, let me just give you this tip because it will save you having. So if I cut that, so this is going. So say this is going to be a small bag. I'd fold it in half, and it's going to go that way. Okay. So decide where you're going, and then open it up and do your stamping. That way. Otherwise, if you do your stamping when it's like that, it won't. It might not flow. That's how I do it anyway. So open it out, stamp on it, and then assemble it. Just makes it a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, and it helps you line it up easier than when it's already assembled. So there you go. Make those in minutes. Go and have a try. Go and have a play. You can obviously dress them up a lot more than this. I kept it short for the video. Go and have some fun. Frugal crafting. Costs you next to nothing. Take care. Bye.